Wolf Agent. Shadow of the Moon Book 2. Written by Flynn. 1. I walked over to my car and pulled my keys out of my pocket, but something made me pause before I inserted the key into the lock. It was the familiar smell of the river sewage, but it wasn't coming from me or my ride. I inserted the key into the lock, but my eyes flickered to my right. The parking lot of the place was the usual rectangle, with cars facing each other in rows, separated by a lane wide enough for 2 cars to pass. My eyes fell on a particularly plain car among the line of cars that faced mine. It was a dark blue 4-door sedan. A guy sat in the driver's seat staring at his smartphone screen, and casually glancing at the hospital. He wore dark glasses and a dark grey suit. His brown hair was cut short, and his hands were covered in thick black gloves. Nothing too unusual, but my nose told me his tires had run through the river muck recently. My eyes followed the scent, and I noticed there was some dried mud in the treads. Either he'd taken a strange joyride, or I had a problem on my hands. I slipped into my car and started the engine. The guy didn't flinch. I backed out. That got his attention. He put down his cell phone and started his engine. I drove down the parking lot as he pulled out of his spot. I left the parking lot, and he was like a 10-second delay in time with my driving. He drove out and turned onto the same street and stopped at the same light to turn left. This guy was tailing me. I had 2 options. The first was to pull over and see if he didn't want to talk. Judging by his face, he didn't look like the kind of guy who wanted a heart-to-heart chat with who he was tailing. That left the second option, losing him. I had some experience doing that, on a few of my wilder cases. "All right, Mr. Sedan. Let's see how your car rolls," I muttered to myself. My eyes flickered to the red light ahead of me. The green light on the opposing traffic ticked to yellow, then red. Mine turned green, and I stepped on the gas, but I didn't turn left. I swung the wheel and took a sharp right. Fortunately, I didn't cut anybody off, but I did tick off my tailer. He was a little slow following me, and through my rear-view mirror I swear I saw him throw around a few words he didn't learn in kindergarten. I sped down the road with my tailer in hot pursuit. Traffic was light, which was both good and bad for me. I wouldn't be dying a horrible, fiery death rear-ending a Ford Pinto, but I couldn't lose him in the crowd. There was also the problem of other
Sample complete. Ready to continue?